Everyone's got pizza and something to drink? We're all set to play then? Awesome. Welcome to Rouen, a city on the edge of civilization and the wilderness. People come here for fame, glory, and fortune, or to hide from troubles. Adventurers come here. You see the sign that you're looking for, a fish wearing a crown, and as you make your way towards the tavern, a gasp from the crowd calls your attention. You look over, the crowd splits, and a small reptilian creature stumbles into the gap. It's holding its clawed hand to a bleeding wound in its side. As it stumbles forward, it says, "Please, we need help," and then falls unconscious on the streets. Oh, I guess that's my cue. I think I would like to, in a TTRPG, your game master is going to describe a situation, and then as players, you decide how your character is going to react. This player is playing a barbarian. Maybe they decide that their barbarian thinks that danger might be lurking in the crowd. Can I check the crowd? Is there anyone suspicious around? Do I know who stabbed this thing? Maybe they want to help the creature instead. What is it? Is it still alive? Can I, stop the bleeding somehow? Maybe the player is going to see what the crowd does, read the room, so to speak. What's the crowd doing? Are they concerned about this thing, or are they backing away and frightened of it? Maybe this player decides that their barbarian doesn't care about the creature. Sucks to be this thing. Try dodging next time. You said there was an inn? I'm hungry. I mean, maybe that's harsh, but they did want to play a classic fantasy action hero barbarian like Conan, and that character is far less likely to try to help an injured creature than a cleric might be. Then again, maybe they're playing a dragonborn barbarian, and they feel a kinship with this other draconian creature, whereas the cleric is a dwarf and sees all kobolds as tiny little pests that infest minds. Whatever you decide to do, don't assume success. Yes, it is possible that if you decide to do something, the dungeon master might just say, yeah, sure, no problem, you can just do that. But usually they will call for a check. That's where these things come in. Different systems use different dice. Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Old School Essentials, and Shadowdark use this thing. This is a 20-sided dice, commonly called a D20. Let's say that our barbarian's companions want to help this kobold. The barbarian doesn't want to just stand around doing nothing, so he decides that he's going to scan the crowd. While the cleric is tending to the injuries, can I scan the crowd? Is there anyone that's out of place or suspicious? Can I tell where the creature came from? The game master will decide what abilities and skills are appropriate to whatever the player is trying to accomplish, or ask the player to choose for themselves. Then they will come up with a difficulty score for whatever we're trying to do here. Yes, they get to just make up that number. Yes, they could make it so difficult that there's no possible way for anyone to succeed. Game masters are not supposed to make things difficult just to watch players fail. That's called being an asshole. There are exceptions, but if the game master thinks that it is not possible, they will generally say so. But if they think that there is an option, they will come up with a score, generally between 10 and 30, higher for different systems, and then ask you to make a check. Sure, go ahead and roll a perception check. I rolled a 13. Add your wisdom and proficiency modifier. Some characters have natural abilities, others are trained in skills that help them in specific situations. Often characters have both, and we usually play to a character's strengths, but don't let that stop you from having your character do whatever it is you think they would do in a specific situation. Your stereotypical classic barbarian probably doesn't have a high wisdom score, but they may have perception. They are, after all, living out in the wilds where danger is lurking around every corner. They both hunt and are hunted. They are good at noticing when things are out of the ordinary. I don't have a bonus to wisdom, but I am proficient in perception, so I guess that makes it a 15? You see a blood trail from where the kobold went that goes down towards the docks and then the swamp beyond. The crowd seems equal parts empathetic and wanting to help, and some that are terrified, almost angry. There's a muttering in the crowd. As you listen in, you hear a conversation. "We should kill it. Obviously." "No, we can't kill it. It might know what happened to our messengers." "They killed the messengers, and we should do the same." That's all there is to playing a tabletop role-playing game. Each game has different rules to cover different details depending on what the game thinks is important. Is your arrow able to slay the dragon? Are you able to convince the noble not to throw you in jail? If you're bitten by a spider, are you poisoned? If you notice an ancient rune on the wall, does your wizard know what it means? With each success and failure, the story changes. We will never know what would have happened if the barbarian had just gone to the tavern instead of helping the kobold. We will never know what would have happened if they had rolled a 20 on their perception check. What if they had not saved the kobold at all? With each decision that you as players make, the story changes, and no two stories will ever be the same.